Hello everyone, Professor Hartman here. Today we're going to discuss lipids. And you see here I have a picture of butter. Most of us are pretty familiar with butter. I have another picture here of vegetable oil. And we can say vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil, olive oil, all the different kinds of oils. So, our discussion today is going to be concerning the lipid group, or the fats. So first of all, let's take a look at saturated fat. Saturated fat is a fat that is basically saturated. Here, take a look at saturated fat. See all the carbon bonds here? And all the hydrogens here. You see how straight and nice and uniform this molecule is. And notice here, saturated fats have no double bonds between the carbon atoms. Okay, that's the major difference here. Alright, it all starts with the chemical structure. So a saturated fatty acid has no double bonds connecting carbon to carbon atoms. And if we have that molecular structure, we then have a solid at room temperature. Butter, lard, Crisco, alright? All of those are solid at room temperature. Let's take a look at an unsaturated fat. Notice the carbon to carbon bonds here, but then look what we have here. Double bond. Carbon to carbon, double bond. Carbon to carbon, double bond. Okay, see what happens here? It forms a kink in the molecular structure, and therefore that molecule is liquid at room temperature. Okay, so solid at room temperature, single bonds, carbon to carbon, liquid at room temperature, double bonds, carbon to carbon, one or more double bonds, okay, gives you liquid at room temperature. So that's the chemical difference between saturated and unsaturated fat. Now, what is the third type of fat? Third type of fat is the phospholipid. This fat will build cell membranes. Okay, so all of your cells are composed of a cell membrane. And that membrane holds that cell together, basically. So what does that structure of a phospholipid look like? Well, it has two fatty acid tails and it has a phosphate group. Now if we take a look here, this is just a two-dimensional drawing. We see the phosphate head and the fatty acid tail. Fatty acid tail, phosphate head. And notice the water molecule. Water molecule. Okay, so inside the cell and outside the cell, we have a water environment. This is our membrane. So notice there's a region on the phospholipid that is attracted to water. That would be the phosphate group. The hydrophilic area. Okay? They love water. Notice on the inside of the cell, the hydrophilic group loves water. Now how about in here? Fatty acid tails of this phospholipid molecule. It does not like water, so we refer to this as a hydrophobic area. Okay, so we have water moving through the membrane, but it's not going to settle in here. It's going to just move through. Okay? The membrane, the cell membrane, is made up of more than the phospholipids, but the phospholipid is the major structural component of that membrane, the cell membrane. And any organelle membranes are composed of this phospholipid. So you have all sorts of organelles within your cell, and if they are membrane bound, then this is the type of membrane they are made of. Okay? So that's your little mini lecture on the fat molecule, the lipids. Have a good day.